charter schools and other market-based forms of school choice have been touted as ways to make education more responsive to market demands. But when you look at the latest attempt to force these schools onto the citizens of Washington state, you have to ask, just who is demanding these schools? Washington state has been pushing back against charter schools for a decade. 3 times, between 1996 and 2004, the state held ballot initiatives allowing charter schools in the state. 3 times the voters said no. In 2012, Bill Gates, Walmart heiress Alice Walton, Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos, and other wealthy education reformers made a concerted effort on a 4th try to bring charter schools to the state. The public received a barrage of TV ads, forums, and mailers sponsored by organizations such as the League of Education Voters and Stand for Children, both of which are financially backed by Bill Gates. Initiative 1240 passed 50.7% to 49.3%, only squeaking by despite the enormous financial advantage of the Yes campaign, which outspent the No campaign by a margin of 12-1. Charter schools remain a controversial and unpopular concept in the state of Washington, particularly in Seattle, where over 60% of the voters were against the initiative. After Initiative 1240 passed, a special commission was established to approve charter schools in the state. It is comprised of politically appointed members with no accountability to the general public, with the ability to circumvent oversight by local school boards. The commission recently approved the Green Dot charter chain, despite its checkered history. Green Dot has been faulted for poor test score results, loss of accreditation, low SAT scores, teachers cheating on students' tests, poor teacher pay, high teacher turnover, student free speech violations, and misleading parents. Green Dot got its foothold in Seattle by subterfuge. The Green Dot charter chain got its foothold in Seattle by subterfuge. When community members in Southeast Seattle, a neighborhood of minority cultures and immigrants, found out a Green Dot middle school was part of a development plan there, citizen activists pushed back. Former Seattle School Board member Sue Peters, who helped block Green Dot from receiving a zoning variance, told me in an interview, "Green Dot is violating the law. They have no legal right to make that request, yet someone in the city worked with Green Dot behind the scenes and granted them one waiver already and want to grant them another. So Green Dot is committing violation after violation. Too often, charters want rules and laws broken or special treatment that public schools are not granted," she summed up. And then they have the audacity to claim to make apples-to-apples comparisons with truly public schools. In May 2017, Green Dot managed to push through a different zoning variance, this one to have greater than allowed building height for a high school, and, again, by operating under the radar and with the assistance of the City of Seattle's Department of Neighborhoods Division of Major Institutions and Schools. When community advocates called attention to Green Dot requesting a second variance, the Seattle School Board unanimously passed a resolution that charter schools should not be afforded a variance because they are not considered public schools. On the board of the company HomeSite, which is the developer of the site in Southeast Seattle, is an executive from Impact Public Schools, which advocates for charter schools, Natalie Hester, who also serves on the board of the Washington State Charter Schools Association. There were no representatives from Seattle Public School District on the board of the company. With variance for the high school successfully pushed through, but the variance for the middle school stymied by the school board's resolution, Green Dot has decided to co-locate the high school with a junior high school. Local citizens are protesting at the construction site. And once again, the legality of charter schools is being challenged at the level of the state Supreme Court. Seattle citizens voted 3 times against charter schools, and there is no indication that opinions have changed. Only a select few backroom operators want the privatization of public schools in Seattle. The battle in Seattle continues. Dora Taylor is a founding member and former president of Parents Across America, and co-author of Digital Networking for School Reform and Left Behind in the Race to the Top: Realities of Education Reform.